What's going on, family? I had a couple things I want to talk about today. Probably a lot of things I want to talk about. But y'all know I talk a lot because this would be a lot on my mind about things that's happening in the community. What's going on, Brother Kev? I want to say that the title of this is called Be Careful Who You Listening To. You know, we tend to listen to a lot of the wrong people. Most of the wrong people. Most of the people we talk to are the wrong people. But we respect them so much that every word come out of their mouth is held as gospel, is held as platinum and gold, you know? But to be honest with you, they don't know what they talking about. We listen to all the wrong people. People are just lying to us. They're miseducated. They're not up to date with their information. But yet, they stand on podiums every day and tell us what we need to be doing as a people. They guiding us. They recommending us to do certain things. And I have a problem with that, you know? So I said I'm going to make a video and I'm going to talk about it because it's important that people understand what's happening. People go to school and listen to their professors and take their word as gospel. But the reality is most of these people are deceiving you and telling you things that's going to keep you in the same situation that we're already currently in. Most people are currently in. So what do I mean by that? If people are still trying to convince you to go to college and get a job, they're deceiving you. Go to college, get an education so you can get a job. They're deceiving you because the data is out that 74% of our college graduates cannot find a job. Don't matter what they got, a doctorate, a master's, it don't matter. But yet we have whole nonprofits built up getting millions of dollars a year to do what? To teach you how to go out and get a job, to make sure that you're equipped and ready to go to college so that you can go out and find you a job. They have nonprofits getting paid millions of dollars to equip and train you so you can go get a job. But yet the data states, quote unquote, that 74% of people who are graduating from college cannot find work. I was talking to my homegirl the other day. She told me she moved to Dubai. She said all the jobs are leaving the country, TJ. I had to go where the work was. That blew me out the water because she wasn't the first person who said something like that. So I sat in another meeting with a bunch of these corporation owners. Another one of those boring meetings that most people would never go to. But of course I went. I think one of our council members gave it, and it was a room full of business owners and major corporation owners. And you know what they were all saying? They were saying that the schools are not even colleges are not equipping the people with the right information so that they can come and work at their companies. So if America does not prepare its people to do certain things, that they're going to have to leave the country. Major corporations that hold thousands of jobs are saying, hey, your college students aren't learning the things that we need you to learn so that we can run our businesses effectively. So we're going to have to move to a country that provides us with the right people, that has the right training. That was powerful, saying that you had a room full of colleges in there looking to say, hey, we got the people you need. And they said, no, you don't. Are you teaching technology? Are you teaching coding? Are you teaching this? Because the world is turning into a technology era. And you're not teaching. You got people graduating to be librarians. And I mean, we need librarians somewhat to keep the history, to keep the books. But come on, y'all. We going to school. People going to school to learn shit you can't even use. That's crazy. People are not looking at the data. You know, we got people, put it like this. Are you looking at the cost of living? Yeah, they can't find skilled workers. You know, are you guys looking at the cost of living? I've been telling people a long time ago, for a long time, man, probably going on 10 years, buy land and watch. This shit's gonna grow. It's what you want to buy. It's located to downtown LA. That's where the jobs are. People are looking at me stupid. Like, dude, are you crazy? That's bad. Watch this bad, dude. All of a sudden, they just bought the tore down the Jordan Dam projects and put $1 billion project in Watts. They're putting $1 billion strip mall apartments, luxury condos, affordable homes, you guys, in Watts. Let me break down what the word affordable means. When you hear people say, oh, they're going to bring in affordable homes. Well, let me tell you something. If the whole neighborhood is priced at $1 million, affordable homes could be $600,000. And do you qualify to buy a $600,000 home? No, most people don't. So be careful with the word affordable homes, because it is based on what is the median home price in that neighborhood. And if the median home price is $1 million, affordable home is going to be $600,000 and $700,000. When the regular price becomes 1.2 million, like it's headed to, the median price, the affordable homes are going to run 800,000. Are we getting jobs that's paying that kind of money? No. Is college students making that kind of money? No. The real talk is, you guys, I say this shit all the time, and I hope I piss people off. We got to stop listening to the people who they tell us to listen to. These doctors, these politicians. Just because a person has the word doctor in front of their name does not make them smart. It does not. Doctors, let me break something down to y'all. Doctors' pays start off at $160,000. Okay? When you go to Kaiser Hospital and you getting your little surgery, or the guy checking your blood, or that doctor's probably making $160,000 to $300,000 max at Kaiser. Now, when you go to another hospital, you know, you got some heart surgeons and people like that. They may be making $1 million or whatever. But trust me, that does not make them smart, y'all. They do not know how to adjust in life. They don't know. They just tell people who went to college and is working out for them, they think everybody else should go to college. That's stupid. And I want to say this. People tell me all the time, TJ, you're a great speaker. You can money. Man, you can make all the money. Oh, all of a sudden I got a weak signal. How about that? Sitting in the house in front of the computer with some Wi-Fi, but I got a weak signal. Okay, here we go. People tell me all the time, TJ, you can make so much money. You can go to the colleges and speak. You'd lock the game up, man, if you just quit bashing college. Dude, I'm not going to go lie. I'm not going to fake it to make it. I'm not. Because what's happening? The reality is college is not the save all. It's not. People are like, oh, we got to get them in some suits and ties, and we got to get them trained so they can go to college. What about after college? What about after college? Can you tell me that? Well, that's not that's not our part. That's not our job. Our goal is to get them in college. Dude, y'all full of shit with that. What about this data right here that says 74% of people coming home from college can't find a job? What about this data right here that said all of these corporations are saying you guys aren't training your college students with the right information, so we're going to leave America? Major power play going on in California. Toyota, Nissan Torrance. Honda leaving Torrance. Thousands of jobs leaving, you guys. But yet, and then, matter of fact, Toyota closed down its facility in Torrance, California. It closed down this facility in New York, and I think it's closing down another one in Kentucky or something like that. And they're moving all their locations to They're moving all their locations to Texas, Plano, Texas, you guys. There's some shit happening and y'all ain't paying attention to it. We so stuck on get an education. Things are changing. Society is changing. The technology era is taking over. If you are not putting your children in some type of technical college to learn technology, or something like that, you're wasting your time. And then it's it's very interesting how the one college that you really needed that can teach you and keep you up to date with the technology that's going on today was ITT. But don't you think it's interesting that they closed it down without notice? It just shut down all of a sudden. So what am I saying, you guys? Shit is changing. So the people that you're listening to are most likely deceiving you. So when a person says you should get a good job and go to college, I'm saying go to college so you can get a good job, you need to ask them where. What can I take in college that's going to afford me the money that I can afford to buy a $600,000 and $700,000 house today? But in 4 to 5 years, when I graduate from college, how much I will be making? How much will homes be then? In 4 or 5 years, houses in LA will be $1 million. So you should be asking your college counselor, your pastor, your doctor that's standing in front of you giving the keynote speech, what classes can I take that I'm going to be able to make $1 million so I can afford to purchase a home in Compton in 4 to 5 years? That's what we need to be asking. Am I going to have to leave the state to go get a job? Am I going to have to leave the state to go buy a house? These are all questions you should be asking these people. I say it all the time. We have the right people asking all the wrong questions. We got all the right people in the room and we asking them all the wrong questions. I notice these politicians, for example, they get in front of us, in front of black people, and they talk about jobs. They get in front of Asian people and they talk about business. And we wonder who's living well and who's not. We need to devote our own economic ecosystem. We manufacture a lot more than you think. We have dedicated ourselves to economic supremacy. Yeah, that's right, brother. I mean, that's right. We do. So, I ain't want to sit here and complain and talk about the problem and all of that. But I'm trying to let y'all know it's very important that we pay attention to who we speaking to. We learn the right questions to ask. If you don't believe me, you need to start asking your people that's telling you what to do those questions right there that I just talked about. Which job can I find that's going to allow me to purchase a $500,000 house today, but by the time I graduate from college, will allow me to purchase a house at $900,000 to $1 million in Compton? And that usually shuts down the whole room, and they realize we can't continue this conversation because we got a truly educated person in the room. They ain't never been to college, but this person knows some stuff because he's talking about current events that's happening that's affecting us right now. Because we're not talking about current events. We're talking about historically what has worked for the last 20 years. Which is not effective anymore. So anyway, my point is, if you're not taking something to teach you how to make video games, to teach you how to make films, which are movies, if you're not taking something to teach you how to make music, some type of engineering that you could be behind the scenes and go in there and wire up a whole set to do music or do films or create apps and things like that, you should not be going to college. Plain and simple. If you're not learning how to be some type of a brain surgeon, something that is really needed, you're wasting your money. So what else could you be learning that's very cheap, quick, affordable, that makes money hand over fist? I say it all the time. Welding is one of the most dominant wealth creators out there. Not getting a job, but starting a business and learn how to weld and start a business doing it. And you will turn around and have people coming to you saying, hey, can you weld my frame on my flatbed tow truck? Can you weld this wheel on my big giant John Deere tractor? Can you come and weld this bracket on the back of my horse? Can you weld these bars in front of my multi-million-dollar mansion? Can you come weld me up some wrought iron railing for my 8,000 square foot mansion that I'm building over here in View Park? These are things welders do. The same welder that's welding the trunk up in that lowrider of that 64 Chevy, wrapping that frame of that 59 Chevy, is the same welder that's building those multi-million-dollar fences in front of those $10 million mansions in Beverly Hills. Welding is one of the most powerful trades that you can learn. Now, let me break it down to you. You may not find a job. In fact, you won't find a job in welding. But if you start a business welding, you will become wealthy. Plain and simple, you guys. What else creates wealth? Musical engineers. If you learn how to work those behind the scenes keyboards and all that stuff, the lights, the camera, the action, if you learn how to what it takes to give proper lighting, if you learn how to hang the camera up and put it on those tracks and which lens works, and say, I don't want a job, Mr. Hollywood, I'm going to start my own business, you will become wealthy. Why will you become wealthy? Because where does most of the rappers come from? Compton, LA, Watts, the inner communities. So how do you think most of these cats become successful? It's because they grew up knowing some rappers. Their best friend is some type of rapper. Their girlfriend is a singer. So as soon as if you guys work together, then we will come up together. You know, people look at me like, how did you put all those lowriders in those videos and those movies and all of that back in your days and all of that? Because I grew up with all the rappers. I grew up with the guys who was in position to say, I want my homeboy TJ to come over here. And he got lowriders. He knows how to build those cars. I want him to put his car in there. I'm going to get it from him. They opened the door up for their homeboys with the business. No, I don't want the white cat that got the business that builds the cars to put lowriders in my video. I want my homeboy from Compton to come up and we're going to pay him all that money to come put those cars in the movie. That's how it works, you guys. If you own the business, the door will open for you. If you are an employee, you're going to live your life in fear of being without a job, of not being able to afford where you want to live. You know, so again, and let's talk about something else. I look at how people are quick to run to people who got money, you know, or sellouts. People who are selling our community out, right? It's funny to me, and I think about when Death Row got started back in the days. I think about how my I'm not gonna say no name. I think about one of my somebody I knew kept telling me I should go after the white people. You should go, teacher, you should target the white people. Why are you out here sitting here in Gardena and all you talk about is black people, black people, black people? You trying to sell these lowriders? That's crazy, man. You ain't never gonna make no money because black people don't spend no money with black people. But then all of a sudden, when my homeboys in Compton started this record label called Death Row, what happened? Who you think they was calling and say, hey, bring us some lowriders over here. Hey, can you fix up this car for me? Hey, can you sell me some parts for this car? Can you go get me some tires and drop them off up to the studio, TJ? You know what happened? My homeboy couldn't understand when he found out that, oh, this is a multi-million-dollar company, more lucrative than the one he was working for. He couldn't understand how they achieve such success. Why is that? Because people are trained to believe that white people got all the money. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. They got a bulk of the money. But brothers is making a lot of work. They got a lot of wealthy brothers out here, you guys. So my point in saying is, we got to stop looking to other races to give us jobs and teach us the game on how to make money, and start looking at what your brothers right next to you are doing. People were looking at me sitting there in this little bitty hole in the wall in Gardena, $500 a month rent, and they was laughing at me like, dude, you need to get a job. You don't even have insurance. You don't even got insurance, man. You tripping, man. But you know what? Nobody ever asked me how much money was I making. They never asked me that. Do you know you can be sitting in a little hole in the wall shop in the hood making 6 and 7 figures a year? But you will never know if a person don't show up in a Bentley, if a person don't show up with a suit and tie on every day. That's usually, suits and ties are equated to wealth, equals wealth in most people's eyes, but that's a lie. When I see suits and ties, I think, oh, he must be on the way to work or something. He got a job, because people with real money don't wear suits and ties. You don't see Mark Zuckerberg wearing no suit and tie every day to work. Them cats rolling in with t-shirts on, You look at all these other, people are trying to please others. When you want a job, you wear a suit and tie. But anyway, something I notice all the time is people are looking for the person with the suit and tie on, the person with the nice car, the person with the word doctor or lawyer or something like that in front of their name. Oh, I'm going to listen to them because they know about success. They could teach me how to be successful. That ain't true. You got brothers out here running around with t-shirts on that got wealth. Money is made in so many different ways, you guys. Just like when you put that pot on the fire, that hot pot, that pot of water on the stove to make you some tea. You can cut it up high because you want it right now, or you can cut it down low and you can go in the bathroom and wash your face, do some other things, and then come back in 10 minutes to make your tea and the water be hot. That's the same thing with money. You can go hard and start a big major corporation and make millions immediately because you dump a bunch of money into it, or you can start small out the trunk of your car. And that's what people don't understand. But eventually, all of them create wealth if you are the owner and you stay consistent. So because of now we have this major push for entrepreneurship, now we have a lot of those same people, these doctors, these pastors, they are trying their hardest to discourage us about doing it. Oh, it's too difficult. It's too hard. Oh, man, business owners have to work hard and they got to stay up all night and they got to do this. I say, well, damn, that sound like my daughter when she was studying for them things in college. When she was up all night trying to do them exams and all of that. Didn't have time to eat. Stressed out. That's not difficult. It's designed to keep us out of entrepreneurship, you guys. So if people are not using the words entrepreneurship, and let me go into something else real quick. A nonprofit is not a fucking business. Excuse my language, but it pisses me off that so many people want to start nonprofits. 90% of the nonprofits out here are teaching people how to fill out an application and a resume, so they're not effective. 90%, the rest of so many people out here want to bring people in off the street, out of the prison system, and they're going to teach them how to fill out a resume and an application so that they can do what? Get into the loop of people, the millions of people who are out of work looking for jobs. Come on, you guys. We can do better than that. A nonprofit cannot help people. Let me correct myself. There are only a few that are actually being effective in the community. Okay, we got a weak signal here again. Hold on, y'all. Okay, we back. So nonprofits that are effective that I know of, I only deal with one nonprofit. The rest of them I don't mess with because I don't like what they're doing most of the time. I like Tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum. Why? Proven track record, teaching people how to fly airplanes, teaching people how to fly helicopters, teaching people how to run businesses at very young ages. TJ, can you come in here and talk to our young people about entrepreneurship, talk about patents and manufacturing and trademarks and copyrights and intellectual property? Because we're running a helicopter company and we need to keep this going. We're not getting enough money, so we need to teach them something different. Yes, I can come in there and teach that. Yes, I like this nonprofit. But it's too many people out here that want nonprofits, you guys. And I'm sure people getting offended by this conversation, but I do not like people who are always begging for money. And that's just what nonprofits do. They're always begging for money. They're always fighting over the same money. If they put out a grant of $10 million to give to somebody to go in the community and do something about teaching people about how to fill out an application, you got 1 million people fighting over that check. And it becomes cutthroat. You know, they're not going to give you any ideas. They're not going to try to help anybody because it's like all about cutthroat. I had another nonprofit. They heard this thing about low riding. Oh, they listening to TJ's my talking about low riding. So all of a sudden, what they do, they're going out writing grants, trying to get money so that they can turn around and teach the young people about lowriders so that they can hopefully find them a job. He totally missed the message. Forget the part about entrepreneurship, a job. We want them to get jobs. The same time it takes you to train a person up to go fill out an application and find a good job, or how to fill out a resume, or how to do an interview appropriately, you can teach me how to weld and teach me about entrepreneurship and point me in the right direction. It does not take a 4-year college class to learn how to become an entrepreneur. It does not. If they say that, they lying to you, because I ain't never went to college to learn how to be an entrepreneur. All you do is start off low and go high. So another thing, what I was saying a second ago was, people all the time look for the guy in the suit and tie, well dressed with the Rolex on, Mercedes in the parking lot, you know, to turn around and ask them, how can I go out and do something? He's going to be the keynote speaker. He's going to be the person that's going to come into somewhere and teach you about something. Odds is he don't know anything but how to go. They're going to always say, go to college, get a job. They're only bringing in people that say that I notice. So what I notice a lot is people follow their every word because he has on a $10,000 watch. He's driving a brand new Mercedes. Well, let me tell you something, you guys. Some of those people are the dumbest people I ever met. I ain't here to hate on nobody. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. You don't know how people got their money. I know people who was stupid as heck, dropped out of college, and then all of a sudden their parents died. They spent their whole life partying, their parents died and left them millions. Now, because they're wealthy, they get to come in and talk about money. They get to come in and talk about things, and people looking at them like hanging on every word they're saying. You don't know how people got their money. Then you got the people who come in and tell you, look at my jet, look at my mansion, look at my family, look at my cars. This is our vacation home. Have you verified any of that? How do you know that's his? Most of these and then on top of that, most of these public speakers are athletes. Most of these public speakers are TV stars. Have you ever noticed that? Most people who come out to the school and talk to people are people who became successful because they made money throwing a football. But yet they gonna come in there and talk to us and inspire us? Why are you listening to these people? You need to check people's credentials. When somebody told me the other day, say, man, I like what you're talking about, dude. I checked you out. I went through your history. I see, man, you've been in business since the 90s. That's a long time for a black person to be in business. And I see you did a bunch of stuff. I didn't know you. I ain't never met a brother like you, man. And I appreciated that. Not because he was stroking my ego, but because he took the time out to see that I actually know what the hell I'm talking about. He said, you talk a lot. You go to a lot of places and you do a lot of good talking, man. It sounds good. So I just wanted to see, could you do it? Because when you walk in, I noticed you ain't got no Lamborghini and no brand new Benz. You got an old ass Benz with a scratch on the side. And I say, but the people keep bringing you around. I want to know who the heck this guy is and if this stuff is true, what he talking about. So I looked you up. And he said, I must admit, I was impressed. So when you come in and you got your black shirts on and all of that, you know, normally that's a turn off because I don't think a brother with a t-shirt on could come in there and tell me how to get wealthy. But after I found your history, I got to look at people differently. I got to look at people totally different because I'm used to seeing people with suits and ties on that are wealthy. I'm used to the pastor at church knowing he's wealthy, so I want to listen to everything he says. I appreciate hearing that brother tell me that because it lets me know people ain't so stupid. You know, but anyway, we got to be very careful who we're listening to. You guys, if they're not teaching you about how to start your own business, and not just teaching you, because anybody can go online and Google it, how do I start a business? And they'll tell you everything about filling out a business license, about starting a corporation. No. You don't need to go pay somebody to hear that part. You need somebody to teach you how to stay in business. That's the part I didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? I got up there and blinked my eye before I know it. I was pulling in 6 and 7 figures and I thought I was saved. I thought I was going to be wealthy for the rest of my life because I made 6, 7 figures, you know? I thought I was good, but nobody taught me, TJ. Stuff costs money, man. You'll be broke at a blink of an eye. TJ, you're going to become a target by women. You're going to become a target by people trying to sue you. You know, TJ, you got to be careful, man. When you get money, you got to be careful. That's the part I needed to learn. You know, so it's important that we know the right questions to ask when someone's sitting in front of us, talking to us, inspiring us, you know, because times is changing out here. The cost of living is through the roof in L.A. County. Let's get that correct, you guys. California is not expensive. Everybody need to repeat that. California is not expensive, but L.A. County is. So what does that mean? If you leave L.A. County and go an hour and a half to 2 hours away in any direction, you will find affordable houses. LA County is the most expensive county, one of the most expensive counties in the world. So therefore, its houses are expensive. But when you leave LA County and go to Kern County and any of the other San Bernardino County or whatever, you will notice things are a whole lot more affordable. So another point that I want to make, people are scared of this internet. They are scared that we will find out what is really going on and start our own businesses. They have people every day selling some app for $1 billion, you guys. Selling an idea for billions of dollars, you guys. That's why you have to be very careful when you're talking about business in front of people. You can't just go to Starbucks and have a conversation. There are people who get paid, who make a great living sitting in Starbucks, listening to people's ideas. Exactly. We got people who are going to sit in all these coffee spots, all these other places, and they get paid money to sit there all day and wait for people to show up with their laptops and have their business meeting and talk about the newest technology, or, hey, I got an idea, man, that can do this, or, hey, I got a movie idea that I want to pitch to you and I want you to give me funding for it. Man, please, y'all better pay attention. I'm letting you know how it goes. I'll be very careful every time I give a consultation to somebody. I notice cats. I'll be like, damn, them the same cats. And they want to come sit by me all of a sudden, sit by us. We didn't have to pull I had to pull my whole way of doing the consultation out of these places because too many people that don't look like us, by the way, are sitting in these coffee spots looking to hear what they can hear. Because trust me, when you got the right information, is very powerful. The right information in the right hands can create millions of jobs, you guys. The right information in the right hand can create billions of dollars. So where you're trying to figure out who can give you some money or what can I do to sell this idea, no, and you having problems, doors shut in your face and all of that, you go sit in that coffee spot. It's most likely the cat sitting next to you. He knows what to do with it. That's why he's sitting there, so he can steal it and go run off and do it. You know, I have people calling me all the time saying, TJ, did you see Empire? Did you see Power? Did you see, this movie that came out? And I'm like, no, I don't watch TV and all that stuff. I ain't into all that, dude. They like, man, you need to go see that because that was your life story. That was such and such a story. That's such and such. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, well, who did it? Well, how did that happen? They like, Cass is out here stealing our ideas, stealing our life stories, stealing our things that happened to us. I didn't want to watch Empire. I ain't into all that crazy stuff. But boy, when my partner made me sit down and watch it, I said, yeah, I know who that is. I know who these stories are. It's a lot of things happening, you guys, that came from Compton, LA Watts, came from the inner cities, from the black communities. That's why it's on TV, and that's why everybody watching it. So ideas are powerful, you guys, very powerful. People are talking about we need gold, we need oil, and if we ain't got no gold and oil and we don't got our own money, we ain't got shit. We ain't never going to be a country if we ain't got those things. Well, let me tell y'all something again. I'm sure you heard me say it before. You don't need gold. You don't need oil. Why? You got to ask yourself, what was it that got the gold out the ground? What was it that got the oil out the ground? What was it that found all of those things? An idea. Someone's idea. Someone created an app. Someone created a satellite to search for oil from space. Someone created a special tool. Someone came up with an idea to create a tool that can locate oil or that can locate gold in the ground. Someone came up with a special idea and technology on how to frack, how to pull oil out the ground. So ideas are worth a lot of money, you guys. So when you got 100 people telling you to go to college and do this, and then you got one person saying, hey, maybe you should try making some video games or some apps or something like that, or you should try starting a business. Well, common sense tell you, well, if 100 people is telling you to do this, then maybe you should do what the 100 people are saying. And that one guy that's telling you the opposite to start a business, he must don't know what he's talking about, because doctor over here, Mr. Engineer, Mr. Lawyer, all these people told me I should do this, go to college. Now we in a situation where we got to listen to what makes sense. If you know the game, you know to ask the question. Okay, Mr. Doctor and Mrs. Attorney and all y'all went to college. Okay, well, what do you think about the 74% of people out of work with college degrees? What do you think about the high cost of living? What can I take that will guarantee me that I can afford to purchase a home in the area I grew up with, or the nicer areas that I have always wanted to live? When I was growing up, I always wanted to live in Palos Verdes. You know what I'm saying? How about that? I was little, man. I'm like, wow, Palos Verdes is by the beach. I want to buy a house up here. This is beautiful. Them houses was $237,000. That was like, whoa. That was like, whoa, you got to be the man to pay $237,000 for a house to live in PV. Now, guess what? By the time I got a little older and graduated from college, I'm sorry, I did not go to college. Excuse me for that one, y'all. I don't know where that came from. By the time I got a little bit older and started my business and I started looking for houses, Palos Verdes was 1.5 million, 2.9 million. Something I really liked was 10 million. How about that? Times is changing, you guys. So what did I do? I was cool because I was in an entrepreneurial situation. I was able to turn around and still do it anyway. But other people are being priced out of the community. They like, man, I can never afford to live in Palos Verdes. That shit just rolls off their tongue. Never. I will never be able to afford to live out there. I will never be able to afford to buy me a Mercedes or a Bentley. That's some dangerous conversation right there. You're condemning yourself to neverness, to never having nothing because you feel that way. That's dangerous, you guys. You got to ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do that I can purchase a home in my dream neighborhood? What can I do so I can go back to the community and buy my mama a house in a safer, beautiful neighborhood? What can I do so I can help my community out? Well, what kind of money do I need to make to do that? I need to make millions of dollars to do all these things that I'm talking about. So what can I do to make millions of dollars? Music, the film industry, the automotive industry, the welding industry, the video gaming industry, the entrepreneurship industry. Yes, these are things you can do that you can afford to come back and do things. But most importantly, you can come back and teach people how to start businesses. That's where it's all at, you guys. You're going off to college and you're going to get you a degree, sometimes two, so that you can come home and get you a job, so that you can feed your family. That's kind of, it seemed like it was a good idea, but now it's kind of selfish a little bit, you guys. When you can spend far less money and learn how to start a business where you can come back and create jobs in your community. You can start manufacturing things, stupidest things. You can come in and start manufacturing pens and create jobs in your community and teach people how to make pens. Teach people how to become manufacturers and go out and create jobs in other places. You can turn around and start a business and start manufacturing products and tell everybody in your neighborhood, if y'all get on the phones and call your family members out of state who already left and tell them that I got pens and I'll let them be some of my distributors, you can give people hundreds of jobs, thousands of jobs, and start hundreds of businesses by starting a business. So when I started my business, I realized real quick that I can give a lot of my homeboys jobs. Most importantly, I can get a lot of my homeboys started in businesses. I didn't make them go out and get some business credit and get a business plan. You got to have a business plan. No, I did not, because I already had the plan. I said, look, dude, I'm spending $20,000 a month towing cars from the East Coast back to California. If you go buy a tow truck, I'll give you that. I'll give you some of that money. Straight out. Hey, dude, I spend $50,000 a month painting all these cars, man. If you go start learning how to paint, I'll give you the money. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. Look, dude, I spend unlimited amounts of money chrome plating bumpers and straightening bumpers and chroming door hinges and trunk locks and battery racks and things like that for these cars and chroming wheel lips. If you go out and start a chrome plating business, I'll give you that money. So you can go hire everybody in your family because your average Chrome shop needs about 20 people to run it effectively. Your average paint shop needs about 10 people to run it effectively. Your average tow truck company needs at least 5 people to run it effectively. Your average lowrider shop needs about 10 people to run it effectively if you want to get them cars in and out. So what does that mean? That means you create jobs. What does that mean? That means people that are watching you do what you do are asking you questions about how you did it. And you tell them what needs to be done. And they say, okay, I'm going to do that because I know you learned and you're seasoned in that. So I don't need to go out and get a business plan because you just told me what to do. You told me where the money is. You told me to buy a tow truck, and you told me to put put a wire out saying that, hey, I have tow truck services from here to there and call me at any time. Here's my number. Put my number in this database and people will call me. You told me how much people charge for that. You told me where to get my truck fixed. You told me how much gas will cost. So fast forward the story. You will be able to help your friends and family create jobs and businesses, and most importantly, create a legacy where you can leave it to your family members, your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren. That's what legacies and that's what entrepreneurship is built on. It's that simple, you guys. So again, be careful who you listening to. If they're telling you entrepreneurship is difficult, then they're deceiving you. If they're telling you you got to go out and get a business plan, they're deceiving you. There are so many different levels of things that we need to be doing. So to me, what is a business plan? If I started a business in hydraulics, for example, no matter of fact, let's use a business that everybody could relate to. If I started a restaurant business, okay, I don't want to just have that one. And that's very important, you guys. We got to get out of the mindset of only having one. One is not enough anymore. One may make you a millionaire, but that's not enough. We got to get into the mindset of having 10 and 20. That means you might have to bring in some friends and family members. That means you might have to hire some of them smart college people who went and learned all them books. You know what I'm saying? Let them come in because they may have specialized in that one thing. That one thing that you may really need, franchising. They may know a lot about franchising and what does it take to start a whole bunch of more businesses. So I see so many people got amazing businesses and it's like they just got one and they've been doing it for 30 years. And I'd be like, dude, you should have about 500 of these. And be like, I know, man, I just didn't know how to do it. Okay, well, that's about the time when our smart people supposed to come in, or even better yet, that's when you're supposed to hire a coach. That's what I do, you guys. See, most of the time I get to talking because I'm just trying to help people out and I want my people to get the right information. But I forget to say, oh, wait a minute, I'm a coach. That's what I do for a living. I help people to start businesses. I help existing businesses to take it to the next level. I help people who don't have knowledge of what to do with the money take it to the next level. You got a whole bunch of people that got money. They got wealth. They got people who got insurance money, you guys. Insurance creates wealth. You got people whose parents are passing away and getting left millions of dollars. And they ain't never had more than $8,000 tax return in their life at one time. So all of a sudden they acquire millions, and the next thing you know, they go broke because they don't know nothing about money. So that's where you call people like me in. You bring in TJ. I come in and coach a person. Mr. Celebrity, Mr. Athlete that just came in $100 million contract, but just moved out of the projects. You know, they call me in. I come in and talk to them. I tell them, look, dude, I know you got to buy your mama a house, your daddy a house, your brother a house, your sister a house, and everybody need cars and everybody need this. I said, why don't you just buy an apartment building? Or why don't you just buy, they don't need to live in Beverly Hills with you. Let's move them out to the Palmdales. We can get them an affordable house out there, and you can save money. You get 10 houses for less than $1 million probably. This is your money. So basically, people need wealth coaches. I know what to do with the money, so that's why I coach. That's why you look at me on Facebook and you be like, well, damn, he so hang with a lot of celebrities, and he be out there with a lot of athletes, or he be taking pictures with a lot of famous people. You know why? Because I be coaching a lot of cats. I just don't talk about it. These guys got hell of a success, but they don't know what to do with the money. They don't know how to go back to the community and help because they've never done anything like that before. They've never had $10 million. They didn't even know how to go to the dealer and buy a car. They just walk in there and say, I want that one. That one, I don't care what it costs. Give me that one. That ain't what you do. You got cash. You want a deal. I don't care if it's a house, it's a car, whatever it is, a yacht. If you got cash to pay for it, you want a deal. You got people don't even know how to negotiate, y'all. Just because you got the money don't mean you got to pay full price. You know, you got people, when you get money, you need a strategy. You need to know what to do with the money. You need to say, I'm going to take $2 million and put it over here. I'm going to take $2 million and invest it back into the community. I'm going to take $5 million and invest it over there. I'm going to buy a house in this community because it's a fast growing community. And when I buy that house today, by tomorrow or 4 years from now, it'll be worth $2 million more than what I paid for it. Buying a house is an investment, you guys. We don't just buy houses because, oh, I like it, it got granted. Oh, my friends are going to be impressed when they see this. We buy things, every move you're supposed to make is supposed to be an investment. Therefore, we need the investor's eye. That's why I teach a class called The Eye of an Investor, teaching people how to make money. So again, my whole thing is I make DVDs on things that people need to know about. I got about 8 DVDs out today that got lectures on it, that got these classes, webinars that I gave, just a host of them that gives you guys the questions that you need to know in certain situations. You walk into a certain place like land development. For example, I got a DVD called Land Development. People look at that and say, what's that about? What's about the land? It's something you need to see because it deals with investing in real estate. You know, where we're out here buying houses that are upside down. If they want $400,000 for a house and 10 people go bidding on it and all of a sudden raise it to $550,000, that's an upside down house. That's a bad investment, most likely. For a newcomer or first time home buyer, that's not a good investment. So you most likely want to build a house because you can build a house cheaper than what you can buy one for. So I teach people things like that. I teach people what questions to ask in the right situations. You know, I go with people down to the yacht dealers, to the man, look at houses. How do you pick a house? Or I just want a big house with a bunch of bedrooms. People, I want a 10-bedroom house. No, you don't want a 10-bedroom house, dude. You want a 5,000 square foot house. You want a 7,000 square foot house. Quit going off of the bedrooms and start looking at the square footage. Because they got 10-bedroom houses in Compton that's 1,500 square feet. That's small as hell. And the rooms look like little bitty closets. You can get 10 bedrooms in Compton, but you want a 10-bedroom house in Beverly Hills. But you don't ask for a 10-bedroom house. You ask for square footage. You want a house with 2 bedrooms, that's like 1,500 square feet. 2 to 3 bedrooms, 1,500 square feet. You want a house with 10 bedrooms, then you want something with 7,000 square feet and up. Something that's comfortable. So it's about the square footage of the house. So again, people that you're talking to, real estate agents are not allowed to tell you what you're supposed to be doing. Real estate agents are there to assist you. They can't tell you this is a better neighborhood over here than that neighborhood over there. They can't tell you all that. That's illegal from my understanding. But I can. I'm just your friend. I can say, hey, this is a good investment over there. That area is rising. They just put Tesla, SpaceX, Solar City, all that's in that community. So I can talk about that kind of stuff, you know? So that's why people need a coach. You cannot just run into a gang of money and think that, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be rich for the rest of my life. Look at the history of the football players and the athletes going broke 6 months after they then got their contract. I'm sorry, after they then retired. How do you go broke after you had $180 million in your life? How do you go broke? People think that's stupid. Oh, that's insane. I could never go broke if I had that much money. Hold on. How do you know that? You've never even had 50,000. You don't understand the levels of the game of when a person comes into large amounts of money. So when people come into money, they need a wealth coach. Someone who's going to direct them into making the right decisions, the right purchases, the right investments. Someone who's going to put in their mind what money looks like, who's going to help them create the eye of an investor. What is the eye of an investor? Someone who can identify what a good deal looks like. Someone who can hear a good investment. I don't need no business plan from you to decide if I'm going to loan you some money. I can just listen to you. I don't need someone to pay. I don't have to pay someone to go out and find me a good area to invest in. I can just drive down the street and look for myself. Because I have the eye and ear of an investor. And true investors can identify a good investment. I don't like stocks. People talk about the stocks all the time. I say, I don't invest in stuff that I'll go broke in one day. You know, I don't do that. I don't like stuff that I don't understand. What's up, Pam? Pamela? You know, I don't exactly. I agree. Most people, wealthy people have exactly. Most wealthy people have a financial advisor. Check this out. Now, I'm glad you brought that up. So does most black wealthy people. Most black athletes have financial advisors, but yet they still go broke. Why is that? Because it's not meant for us to stay successful, so they're going to deceive people. Do you know how many people losing money because of their financial advisors that don't look like them have ripped them off and then turn around and they go back to their prospective movie studio or their football coach and say, hey, this guy that you referred me ripped me off and I'm going to go file a lawsuit. They be like, whoa, hold on. Don't do that. You're going to make the team look bad. You're going to make the studio, you're going to affect our TV show. You know, we don't want to get bad ratings. You're going to have to sweep that under the rug. I know it was a couple million, but hey, man, we're just going to have to learn to make better investments. You got to learn how to look into people. They're like, man, you told me about him. Well, you know, still, you got to do your own due diligence. He worked for me. I didn't know what happened. Maybe that's something between you and him. We're going to have to see what we can do, but we can't go public with that because that'll bring down the stock prices for the football team or for the TV show that you're on. They getting screwed every day, you guys. So what does it boil down to? You better go back into your own community and deal with people who look like you, not some sharp, fast-talking, smooth-walking cats, but people who just make sense. You see some hard-working business owners over there in that grocery store, that little mini market that you've been knowing all your life when you growing up in your community, the little small mom-and-pop black store, you need to go talk to them. Hey, Mr. Johnson, you know, I've been knowing you since I was 7. Yeah, I know. I sweep the floor for you and all of that. I was thinking that, hey, now that I'm a big-time celebrity and I got money, that maybe we can expand and open up about 10 of these stores. Can I be a partner with you? You know, can I come in, go to your gardener? Hey, man, can I buy like 30 more lawnmowers and we go through the neighborhood and get some of these other kids and buy some pickup trucks and stuff? And we start a gardening business because I got about 100,000 I'm willing to invest in you. You know, I need to put some money away. I'm going through the community looking for small business owners that I can help because I've been knowing them. I've been seeing them. I'm going to go over here to the lowrider shop because I see that creates wealth and ask him, what can we do to take that to the next level and create jobs and I can make investments? Oh, he says he spends $50,000 a month on paint shops. He says he spends $100,000 or whatever on towing cars across the country, picking up old Chevys from Kentucky and places like that. He needs new tow trucks. Sounds like a good investment to me because it's working. Everybody got cars, lowriders and stuff all over the place. So yeah, that's a great investment, you know. Stop letting people sell you into stuff that you don't know nothing about. You be like, oh, it's a stock called Winzork. It's going to be worth money. It's only a $800,000 investment and you're going to do great. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't worry about what Apple did and all of that old stuff. Remember, Apple started off with $1,500. So why are you going in with $800,000? If Apple Computers and Facebook started off with less than $1,500, why would you let someone talk you into spending $800,000 on an investment? That's stupid, y'all. It don't matter what Apple did and all the money it made. And wouldn't you have liked to get involved with Apple when they first started? Exactly. Balder's television show. Okay. What's up, my brother Jaquil? You know, you got people who, like, matter of fact, that brother right there, the filmmaker. You know, what kind of films do you got? Who got some great ideas to make some movies? You know, how much will it, Mr. Jaquil, how much money would it cost to make a movie? He ain't gonna tell you 10 million. It ain't gonna be $1 million. It ain't supposed to be though, right, brother? You can't say that. Be honest with you. You can make a movie for $5,000. You can make a good movie for $50,000. We got people with that kind of money on their credit card. So, getting back to it, you guys, be careful who you listening to. If they're luring you out of your own community to invest your money, to make purchases, you tripping. People tell me, oh, you should move to Palmdale. It's more affordable. Sell your house in L.A. It's too bad out here. Move to Palmdale. Move to Paris. Move to Riverside. But yeah, you got a house in Compton, L.A. You got white folks moving next door. If they coming, why would you move? So we got to start paying attention to what's happening. Have the eye of an investor and look at your own communities, because we are the areas that's making all the money. We are the people who generate the most money. So right now, our community is worth the most. So any house in LA right now is experiencing some rapid growth, meaning they may be at 400,000 and 500,000 a day, but by tomorrow they're gonna be 600,000 and 700,000, and the year after that they're gonna be at 900,000, because all these white folks is moving back to moving to our communities, and they tearing down a lot of stuff and building it up, you guys. So they got businesses coming in. They got businesses that the ones that are already here are going to become very wealthy. The ones that are coming are going to be wealthy because of all the construction and all the new money coming to the area. So why would you sell? Why would you not invest your money into that community, an area with rapid growth? So again, you guys, I offer coaching. I offer classes, the eye of the investor. You know, you guys came into some money. It don't matter if it's $5,000. There's certain places you could put it. You know, I could say, hey, I know a guy that's making a movie over here, and he need a couple thousand. You can invest in that, and then we can put something over here. I know another guy over there that's starting a little business, and they can use $1,000 for a glass case. How about that? You know, that's a good investment, because he say he'll give you back $500 a month. Stuff like that. There's so many small investments going on, but I offer all type. I got coaching, wealth coaching. I got classes. I got webinars, and I got DVDs. So hit me up at thomastjlofton.com, and that's LOFTIN. And if you guys got a question and need some help, let me know. I offer consultations. You know, I talk to you for a quick 5 minutes, but if you want to sit down with me for an hour and really go into it, then I charge $300 to sit down for an hour, you guys. I take the time out with you, and let's talk about it. Inner city myth has changed the game because of gentrification. Real talk, brother. Real talk. Gentrification is creating wealth. I told people the other day in that lecture I gave, I said, they call small people with no money call it gentrification. People with money call it redevelopment. And they like it, and they approve of it, you know. But it's affecting people like me and you that ain't got no money. You know, regular people who's struggling, you know. So it all boils down to it is we got to start getting coaches. So when people say, oh, I'm thinking I'm going to send my daughter to college and I'm going to have her take this class. I'm gonna have her take this. I'm gonna have her go to learn how to do this, and it's gonna cost me $100,000. You need to redirect her and say, you know what? You need to turn around and let her go sit down with TJ and take his classes, have a webinar or whatever, and take some wealth coaching, because he's going to teach you about business ownership. He's going to teach you about land development. He's going to teach you how to have an eye of an investor. And that's basically just to see the world for what it really is. See where money really is. He's going to talk about things that they don't talk about in school, because they're taught in school to be employees. Not business owners, but employees. But all right, you guys, my appointment's showing up. I'm about to get out of here. I just wanted to stop and take the time to reach out to you guys and let you know what's happening. You know, be careful who you talking to, you guys. If they're coming in talking about filling out applications and learning how to fill out a resume so that you can get a job, go to college so you can get a job, you need to ask them, quote unquote, am I going to be able to purchase a home at $600,000 and $700,000 with that job that you're talking about, with that education? Am I going to make enough that I can live in my community? And they're going to turn. That's when the real conversation begins, because they're going to have to be honest, and they're going to say probably not. Then you can have a conversation. Well, where do you recommend I live? What do you recommend I learn? You got to ask the right questions, you guys, because most of these cats ain't telling you the truth. Most of these people are not telling us the truth. So again, we got to know the right questions to ask. And I always tell you, I'm going to say it again, if you're not making enough to purchase a home, then you don't need to go to school to learn that. If they're teaching you to get a job in today's economy, ask them how many corporations have closed down this year. Didn't Macy's just closing down most of their stores? Isn't Walmart's closing down all over the country? Didn't Sam's Club close down? Go online and Google major corporation closures in America. And it's over 100 major corporations that's closing stores down, going out of business. So people are telling you to learn how to go to school to get a job so that you can go work at one of these corporations. You need to make sure they're not closing down. So again, ask the people, when I come out of college to take get that degree that you telling me to go get, are they going to be employing people in that trade, in that career, in 4 to 5 years? And they're going to have to tell you the truth. So all of a sudden, Mr. Smart Person or Mrs. Smart Person is going to show you that they're not so smart anymore, because they're not talking about what's going on in today's world. They're talking about historically what's going on in the past. You always asking, will I be able to find work? Can I afford to purchase a home? Can I afford to purchase a nice car on that price? Can I afford to have children? Because it's not about just living and making it, y'all. It's about living well. You know, taking vacations, owning homes, putting money away so your children won't have to work so hard. If you cannot do that, then you don't need to be learning that. If that's not going to allow you to where you can purchase a home, a beautiful home in the community where you want to live, not in a community where, oh, this is all we can afford. We had to take the small apartment condo style over here. They converted these. No. You want to be like, oh, I always wanted to live in that neighborhood over there. It's some beautiful homes in there. And they're, oh, them is 700, 800,000. That's where I want to live. You'd be like, okay, well, yeah, we can afford that. That's no problem because we got money. You need to ask that teacher or that coach or that person that's telling you to go to college and telling you what to do with your life. Can I afford to do that? And that's when the real conversation begins, because they're going to have to say, probably not. There's not very many classes outside of being a doctor, a lawyer, or something like that that's going to allow you that kind of lifestyle. Then they're going to say something stupid like you might want to be a rapper. No, you don't. You might want to own a record label maybe, but not be the rapper. You don't have to be an athlete or something like that. You don't have to be a doctor to be wealthy. You can be a business owner and have multiple businesses. Hire me as your coach or somebody else. It don't matter. But we got to get out of the mindset of saying, oh, I'm going to put my baby in college and put them with a wealth coach to learn about money and business. How can I start businesses? Not just one business, not just a business in hair, but any type of business. You need to know how to start any type of business so you identify with money and creating wealth. So it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a beauty salon or it's a company making apps. You're going to understand the concepts of making wealth. That's what we got to put it in to our children's minds and our minds. If we want to change the situation, you guys, we got to learn about wealth. The eye of an investor, the ear of an investor. How do you create wealth? That's what we need to be teaching our children. That way, they can come back to the communities, buy their parents brand new homes, brand new cars, tear down their old houses, build up bigger houses for them, things like that. Go back into the community, open up major education centers, teaching them information that they really need to learn for free right now. Not when they graduate from college, but at 5 years old. Come back to the community, just like Robin Petgrave did. Came back to the community, got a big giant warehouse, start teaching people how to fly planes, have all his successful friends come in and talk business with these 5-year-olds and 7-year-olds. Man, I go up to the airport and I sit down. You guys see me on Facebook, sitting down talking to young people. Them are some of the smartest young people I ever met in my life. 5 years old, 7 years old, 9 years old. Why? Why are they so smart? Why are they brilliant? Because they get to talk to people like me all day. Because he's not waiting on people to graduate from college. Oh, they're from college. Come talk to them. They're in college. Come talk to them. You're like, man, I need you to come talk to these 5-year-olds right now. Because we don't want them joining gangs. I want you to come talk about money, talk about success with them, talk about wealth and legacies. Okay, no problem. Man, I go in there talk. They got all kind of people coming in there talking. Now, that's a nonprofit. But I'm going to get on out of here, y'all. They waiting on me. I appreciate y'all. If y'all need me, hit me up. 310-619-3954. ThomasTJLofton.com is the website. Consultations, coaching, training, wealth trainings, wealth coaching, all that good stuff. Let's make it happen, y'all. Let's change the situations. Let's change the narrative. Let's do a paradigm shift and do things the right way. All right, I'm out.